Good morning, everyone. I am Ola Holmlund. I am the CEO of Lipidor. Lipidor is a company now going for the stock market. We will have the first listing day, 27th of September. So I'm proud to be here and present what we are doing. So Lipidor is reformulating existing, well-established skin medicine and make it better and more friendly for the patients. We have 4 projects in pipeline. One in a late phase 3, where we expect to give results already this year in December. I will come back to our pipeline a little bit later, but I want also to stress that the area that we are working in for the moment is psoriasis and atopic dermatitis eczema, which is a growing number of patients every year. And I'm sure that all of us know someone that is affected by either psoriasis or eczema in this room. So when we look at today's topical skin medicine, we can see that there is some limitations. First of all, it's very difficult to get a dosage that is exact from the tube or the ointment. And the other way is that it's aggregated, so the cream and the ointment keeps the active ingredients inside the cream, so it takes time for the pharmaceutical to reach the skin and give effect. The other thing that is a problem for the patients is that you need to rub this cream and ointments into the skin, and as you saw in the earlier pictures, you have an inflammation and a chronic when it comes to psoriasis inflammation on the skin, which makes it a little bit unpleasant to do it. The other thing is that cream and ointment takes a long time to dry. So a normal patient either do it in the morning and wait up to 45-50 minutes until they can put the dress on, or a shirt or something, or they do it in the evening and they wait until they go to bed so they don't stain the lining in the bed. So what do we have? Lipidor have its own patented formulation platform, which is form of a spray. The spray itself gives an exact dose to the skin area, so it's very easy to monitoring how much you are adding when it comes to pharmaceutical to the skin. It forms a layer of the skin where you have the lipids in the formulation working together with the lipids in the skin, so you can have a faster penetration depending on how we formulate the platform. This we can see that you have a faster onset on the pharmaceutical on the skin, and also more pharmaceutical coming down in the skin layers. When we're coming to patients, we can see that there is a good advantage because it dries very quick. So you will save a lot of time as a patient, and you will not stain your clothes or your linen in the sense of time. This is an example which I think is very interesting to look at. It's for an analgesic gel, where we compare it to the pharmaceutical analgesic pharmaceutical inside the Aquano formulation. Here you have pain, and you want to have a fast relief. So the red on the right or the left side here, you can see that the red is the Aquano formulation. So you have a very fast onset of accumulated pharmaceutical through this membrane that is mimicking the skin, compared to the existing gel. So also looking after 24 hours, we can see that on the artificial membrane, you have a lot of the pharmaceuticals still remaining on the surface on the gel that we compare to. If you look for the Aquano solution, most of the pharmaceutical has been drawn through the membrane, and in that sense should have given effect to the area where you had the pain. Coming back to the skin types, as I said, psoriasis is a chronic disease with inflammation and a sore skin. And we did a small trial with one of the largest psoriasis clinic in Sweden, in Södertälje, where we asked the patients to use our spray compared to the market leader from Leo Divonex. And then we asked them, what did you prefer? Up to 74% preferred the spray. And I think that comes back to the fast dryness, easy to use, and you can also reach much easier with a spray yourself than using a gel or a cream. This is very high. I've been working as commercial director for many, many years, and when launching new technology, normally you have a resistance. 74% of the patients is very high. So our business model is that we have the Aquano platform is where we can formulate the project which are going to be registered as a product. And we have tested over these years over 17 different pharmaceutical ingredients which works in the platform. So for us, it's more of looking, not trying to understand a new indication, but looking into what project would be best on the market. So this is what we are doing is a generic company. We like to say we are a super generic company because we bring an improvement to the market. We are working with well documented and tested ingredients, which means that they are already tested. They're already approved in the market. So we have a shorter way and a lower cost when it comes to clinical development than most other pharmaceutical companies. We will not, even if I would like to do it, we will not build our own sales organization. We will out-license this product to companies that are very strong in sales and marketing. They will also take the full product responsibility. So Lipidor name will not, the product once it's reached the market will not be named Lipidor. It will be named any of the company that choose to take this as a licensed product. We have a strong pipeline. We are focusing now on 4 projects for psoriasis and atopic eczema. As I mentioned before, we have one of the candidates, the first candidate, already in the phase 3. We expect to give good results now in the end of the year. It will give an acceptance to our platform if the results are good. So if we are working with well established and well documented pharmaceutical ingredients and we have an acceptance for our platform, we see, after talking to experts, that we might be able to go faster in the line, that we don't need to do, say, for the combination product, a phase 2, we can go directly into phase 3. We will take the product or the projects up to completion of phase 2. Then we will have to find a good partner, suitable partner for us to do investments for the phase 3. This is what we did with the AKP-01. We're working with an Indian pharmaceutical company called Cadila. They are full financing the phase 3 for us. So this is our platform. We would like to have 4 products by 2025 ready for the market, depending, of course, on the study results and finding a good partner. So what's the market potential? The market potential for those pharmaceutical ingredients that we're working today is about $2 billion. With the super generica, you will take somewhere between 15 to 25% of the market share. We're in for that. And then you have a royalty split, which will vary depending on how much signing fees, milestones, and how long time it will take it into the clinical development phase. Somewhere between 8 to 12%. This is only for the 4 active or the pharmaceutical ingredients that we're working with today. As I said, the Aquano, we have tested 70 API. So you could multiply this picture if we have enough resources and energy to do it and find interesting projects. You might find another layer of this picture. So this is just for the 4 projects we are working for today. What works for human normally also works for animals. Animals is a very interesting part of the business. We have a daughter company where we own 80% of it. 20% is one of the key opinion leaders, veterinarian, that has been part of taking up the product range. We already have 7 products ready. We have production, and now we're looking into finding partners to market these products, hopefully globally. I just want to show this picture to you to see that we have a very strong patent situation. It's very simplified. You will find more information on our homepage and in the memorandum. So we have the first basic patent with the basic formulation, and then we follow up with the emollient effect formulation, the effect of the penetration formulation, and the hydrating effect. All of the pharmaceutical candidates is at least covered by 2 of these families. Then we're also looking into if we find a new chemical entity and we add it to Aquano, we might take a patent that lasts much longer as a new product. So, interesting times ahead. We have now already this year, we will inform about the last patient in, the last patient out, and the result from the phase 3 study that we have, the final results. We have several projects ongoing, so we have the preclinical development news. We have the start of new clinical studies coming up. We have partner corporations in discussions. We have feasibility agreements in discussions. And of course, adding on new Aquano projects if we can find interesting candidates for that. And also licensing agreement. So, as I said when I started, we are now preparing a listing on Nasdaq First North Growth Market. It starts tomorrow, the subscription period until the 13th of September. We want to raise 25 million Swedish kronor, and looking at the interest, we could have asked for much more money. We believe that this money is enough for the value creation that we are looking ahead. We already have a subscription commitment of 18.2 million Swedish kronor. The valuation pre-money is 116 million, and we will sell it in units of 2 shares and 1 option. So the stock price will be 6, and then you will have a warrant with a strike price of 9 to 12 that will come in November 2020 if we have the right development. And we already have a conditional acceptance by Nasdaq to have the first trading on the 27th of September. Thank you very much. Let me take some water.
Of course. Thank you, Ola. Very interesting to hear about Lipidol. I'm sure the interest for your IPO just gone up a little bit more.
Let's see.
So, I mean, you're in the field of psoriasis with your, you have a candidate in phase 3.
Yes.
That field is kind of in the spotlight right now.
Yes.
After what happened then when Amgen buying Celgene's Otezla psoriasis drug for $13.4 billion. What was your reaction to that?
As I started, we see more and more patients with these skin diseases. So of course there will be this big business. It's maybe a little bit separate from what we are doing, except that we are in the psoriasis field. I think we will see this kind of movements with companies in the coming time.
And being as of yet a not listed company, you're a bit more free to speak freely.
No, not.
Maybe not. So, given that you are in phase 3 and looking to get results fairly soon, how's the interest among the external players in the field for Lipidol?
There is a lot of companies that we have been discussing over the years that has always asked for some sort of proof of concept when it comes to the platform. Now we will have a proof of concept when we are presenting hopefully good result in the end of the year for Quantum. So there would be likely to advance the discussions, I would say.
Yeah. And the license that you have, or the license agreement that you have with the Indian company, Cadila, is that the name?
Yes.
How did that come about?
It was actually a story where the owner of Cadila was traveling a lot into Sweden. He loved Sweden, and he met Karolinska Development fairly early, and he was looking to see what could we do together. And then he was introduced to Lipidor, and he said that this is very interesting for us. And it was also driven by one of our industrial owners, the Swiss pharmaceutical company Servios, who is producing the API calcipotriol for the. So they found a way to work together with us, and they said we will finance it. We will do the study in India, and also in India with different skin types. It goes according to plan, and so I'm confident that we will keep the timeline, and I'm very hopeful that we will have good results by the end of the year for this one.
How many patients have you? Are they including in the phase?
It's 266, and this is also coming back to that we're working with well-established pharmaceutical ingredients, so we don't need to do this very long and big phase 3 studies for if it would be say a new chemical entity.
So the risk is fairly low then. And you also mentioned the animal market. You have a product that's how close is it to market?
No, it's very close. We have already sold some units from our earlier batches to test and to do, to get the feedback back from, say, Uppsala, the SLU, to see what do they like about the product. The product is very, convenient in the form of spray. When you work with animals, it's much easier than doing with a cream or ointment. So you can easily reach down and spray and get easy work for the ones using the spray. And it's a big market. Animals. I mean, we sometimes laugh about that you pay more for your animals than for your children. And you see big movements with people buying up these companies because of the long way of registering, pharmaceutical for humans. We have 7 products already on now in production. It's just the etiquettes left. So we will start now to there are demands from the veterinary side that have used it, and then we're looking now to find a partner.
Okay.
To help us.
Is this one of the reasons that you're not raising more than 25 million? Are you looking to get revenue?
No, I think we put a fairly low evaluation on the company because we wanted to have a good start. And the 20 million that we took in the end of the last year or the beginning of this year has been to set up the organization to move into more clinical phases and be prepared. This money will help us to keep to do the value creation that we want to do. I wouldn't say that the animal care. Hopefully we can, but it's not in the calculations.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the audience at this point? Yes, over here.
Psoriasis, räknar ni med att det blir ändå ett livslångt underhåll? Eller skulle
Det är något psykologiskt.
kunna bli av med sjukdomen?
So we have to translate the question as well. Are you calculating with this will be a lifelong treatment for psoriasis?
We are working in the mild and moderate psoriasis field. There is a lot of, in the news about finding this wonder pill to cure it. I might not be the right person to answer that question. We look at you will need the cream and ointments, or in our form the spray for the entertainment of mild and moderate psoriasis, unless something comes up in the future. So.
One more there.
How much is sold of this generic substance that is a part of your product?
You mean in the market? So if we go back on the generic substances, the market is $2 billion for the 4 products that we are working.
And yours?
that is the market for that kind of product. And then we calculate from product to product between 15 to 25%. Some products have been withdrawn by the market leader, and we see that we can take a bigger market share. Some products we've faced maybe more competition, we say a little bit less. Normally, we say that if you have a generic that is improved, that you can take around 20%.
But at this point, your substance that you put into your platform is sold on the market.
Absolutely, it's sold. It's been sold for.
There should be a figure on how much is sold today.
It's $2 billion US for that substances. If we look at the combined product without us, you know, this is the market share for the products existing with the pharmaceutical ingredients that we are working at. So it's absolutely available, the information. If it's 2 billion, 0.1 or 2, I mean, it's around 2 billion. So
it's a hefty figure, all right. We are out of time, so thank you very much. I'm sure there might be more questions they can ask you in the break.
I will be here for the break.
And well, a warm hand for Ola.
Thank you very much.